kind of when you're first starting, if you want to go like hashtag female empowerment, it doesn't really change the effect of your, I would say the more that you post, the better you're going to do.
How often do you post?
I used to post 10 times a day.
What? Welcome to the Boss Babe Podcast, the place where we share with you the real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. I'm Danielle Canty, and today I'm joined by two beautiful ladies, my co-host Natalie Ellis and Bunny Barbie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
We are really excited to have you on.
Okay, Bunny, so for people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I do everything. So I have a children's curriculum. I have a podcast. I am a TikToker within this last year. I also own a software company where you can do conversational texting and documents via text. So like if we had this meeting, I could send you a little text, you 2 buttons and it's signed. And then, which me and my husband built.
Wow.
And I also am the first woman to ever produce, create, and film her own reality show, which is coming out soon.
Wow. What a list. And like so like different as well.
Everything's different.
I love that about you. It's not like you just kind of like honed into like one sector. You
Yeah.
like crossing industries.
I like everything. I like doing it all.
Goals.
Yeah.
I love that.
But a lot of it fails. You can't do everything and expect everything to work.
I love that. We're going to come to that because there's a very important lesson in entrepreneurship for sure.
So I've been stalking you and I watched the video about the reality TV show. You guys wait till we get into this. It's a great story. But first, I want to know, you're like really good friends with your husband's ex-wife, right?
I am.
Have you always been? Like, I couldn't, what? Tell me more.
Yeah. For someone who's going through a divorce, how the hell does that happen?
I know. Imagine. Can you imagine?
No,
like,
not right now. I can't.
You don't have children, right?
No.
Yeah, that would be, it's a transition for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think my husband and his ex-wife, I actually call her my stepwife because she's like a part of my family at this point. And I think because they ended on such good terms, but they were also divorced for 10 years before I had ever even met my husband. So it wasn't like
That
this,
helps.
you know, like he's going from her to me. There was a ex-girlfriend in between her and I, who I don't get along with. And it was a really rocky because my husband's ex-wife was a life coach at the time. Now she's a CEO of a business she owns with my husband. But
Oh, wow. They work together too.
Wait, there's layers.
Well, this is getting really juicy. Hang on a minute. Okay.
they started a staffing company. They work in DAS and small cell. It's kind of complicated. It's way over my pay grade. But you know, she was a life coach at the time and she really wanted to help this girl kind of move on with her life. And my husband had broken up with her a year before I had met him and she just would not let it go. She's been with a A-list celebrity for the past years and still like wants to come to my stepdaughter's graduation. And like, you know, she did a lot of mean, evil things to me when it was like this transition. And my husband's ex-wife at the time was kind of like on her side, like, we should all be a big family. And I'm like, this is like, she told my stepdaughter before I had ever met my stepdaughter that I was a porn star
Oh my God.
when she was 14.
Wow.
So it's just been a really rocky road. And then once all of us just kind of cut her out of our lives, everything's been good.
That's incredible. So you two get along, you spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. She like can't leave the house without asking me for fashion advice.
Oh my God. I love that. That's a good way. That's a good rewrite for a story.
Yeah,
I like
and that's
that.
really amazing. And because I think there's actually like, you can choose to put your energy in two places. You
Yeah.
can choose to put it into hatred or you can choose to put it on something that's positive and growing.
Yeah.
And like, that sounds exactly like what
And when
you
I
and
met
Des
my
wanted them.
husband, I was 23 and my husband's he's 23 years older than me. So my friends at the time were just like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you putting up with this? Like, he's got an ex-girlfriend and an ex-wife and it's just really complicated and kids.
Yeah.
Like, why are you putting up with this? And, you know, and especially with my husband's ex-wife, like they were like, why is she still in his life? Like, why are they starting a business together? And like, why are they doing all this stuff? And it just never really bothered me because of how she was to me, you know, like she's always been like, it's never been like, she feels like neither of them want to get back together. Like it's almost like she's like his sister,
Yeah.
you know? And then it's just, we're like a big family.
I love that. Okay, so diving into the reality show stuff. So I was watching your YouTube video if people haven't seen it, definitely go check that out. What happened there?
So I had a reality show deal for a year before I started TikTok, which was about a year and a half ago. So it's been 2.5 years at this point. It's with like the biggest companies.
It's like 2019 time.
2018 maybe.
Okay.
And so it was, I mean, I think when I started, my son's 4.5 and we started when he was like 1.5. It's been a long time. And so, you know, the week that COVID hit, all of the executives flew to my house and we were like getting ready to start everything. And it had already been a year at that point. In March, and they came the week before, and then COVID happened, and they were like, no one can travel, we can't come there to film, like, we're just, like, literally kept putting us on hold for another, like, year and a half, just being, like, pretty much, like, they were supposed to pay us out of the contract we had already signed, never paid us. They were supposed to, like, we got contracts from the network. I paid lawyer fees to go through all these contracts. And mind you, also the contract was for 11 years.
Wow.
So this was...
Oh my God.
It was insane.
So
they knew it was going to be a thing.
I just want to rewind a second. Why did you decide you wanted to do a reality show? Like, what was that decision process? Because actually, Natalie and I get approached, like, quite a bit, and I'm really curious as to, like, actually, I want to do a reality show. How did that come about?
You know... The theme was mommies, and I felt like, and they kind of told us that it was supposed to be like Working Moms on Netflix, but like reality show version. So like empowering, funny, goofy, like moms. And I just felt like I could really fit in. Like if it was any other theme, I don't think I would have done it. But they showed me how to basically do it myself in this industry. Like I've been in it for so long that like thankfully like I would never be doing my own show if it wasn't for them and like going through this whole process. And I think at the end of the day they gave me a gift by not doing it, because I think, I mean, the contract was really manipulative. It was like, we can put hidden cameras and listening devices.
What? So that
in
you don't
your
know?
home. Oh yeah. It was really bad. It was,
And you couldn't get that taken out? That was like one of the ones
I
that
mean,
you signed?
it's you negotiate, but it was, you know, and then they get a percentage of all of your income on everything you do for 11 years.
Wow.
Well, I heard that, you know, sometimes I have seen Love Island occasionally in the UK. It was very big in the UK. And that's what happens with them. Like, they know that it really launches a lot of people's success. And so they take a percentage for like so many years after.
Wow.
Which is kind of like, I guess, like owned
Yeah.
by it, which isn't
I mean, it's
necessarily
smart
a
though.
feeling
I kind of get why they do it. So that has led you now to you're actually producing your own show.
Correct. And I just want to put something out there that's not currently like on TV, like more empowering, you know, family dynamics that are different. And just, you know, me and my husband are pilots and we just kind of like travel around to our 3 different homes.
Wait,
You're
on top
pilot?
of everything else, you're a pilot?
Yeah.
What?
Wow, there's like layers and layers to you, bunny. You're like, yeah, I'm a pilot.
So I have been flying. So I went to, there's these group, this sounds so fucking bougie. There's these groups that get together for, it's just people who own and fly their own jets.
It does sound bougie.
It sounds bougie, yeah.
And
Our listeners like, I've been to one of those. Neither have we. Tell me more. Tell us more about this world.
So about once a year, they have like this huge event. Everyone gets together. Like they literally have like, who's that famous cooking guy? Like Guy Ferrero, whatever, cook for the wives, or like, you know, like they have like some country artists like Jason Aldean, like have like a private concert. Like he brought my son on stage like last year or something. Like it's like a whole thing, right? Super bougie. But they do these courses for the wives, which I did way before I had my son. And in these courses, you learn that the number one reason a pilot is incapacitated, AKA cannot fly, is food poisoning. It's not heart attack. It's not anything else. Imagine like literally like throwing up and pooping, like you can't fly, right?
No,
and my husband
can't.
is a single pilot. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to learn how to fly. Like I have a baby, right?
Yeah.
So I started when my son was 4 months old. I have about like 150 hours in like a
This is so
prop
cool.
plane. And then I've never gone through the traditional like course because I don't really need to, because like I'm not like flying by myself, but I mean I can go up and land, no problem.
That is
Wow.
incredible. Oh my God. So many
Also,
layers.
also, I don't drive a car.
Whoa,
you
hang
just
on.
fly
you
your
fly
jet.
a plane, but you don't.
I don't
biggie.
drive a car.
That is the most LA thing I've ever freaking done in my life.
I'm obsessed. So basically you're going to be the next Kardashian. I love this idea. So it's going to be a lot of like family oriented. Will it show the side of you that's really entrepreneurial and ambitious?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've only filmed the first episode so far, and it's kind of more intro into like the businesses and my life and my friends and my family. Like I have the most amazing girlfriends too. So I just really want to, like bring us all along on this journey.
And that's so great that you're producing it yourself, because you were telling me you split your time between so many different locations, so it's probably nice that you can bring it with you.
For sure, yeah.
That's so nice.
And also you get to control the narrative, because I wonder how many of these reality shows people get sold into like, oh yeah, it's going to be about empowering women, etc. But then it falls into the same old narrative that women are bitches, all of this. And it's like that just perpetuates the challenges that we have with women, versus like if you can really control the whole narrative, like no, I'm going to show what's true to my life. I support other women. I do all these things.
Obviously there's going to be things that happen.
I can build businesses,
but like it doesn't need to be like all this fight. I remember probably last year while I was still kind of with the reality show people, and they filmed Housewives, and one of the housewives posted on Instagram, and she was posting all this stuff, and she's like, I hate how the way that we film all this family stuff, they never show it. All my audience is asking me to like post more fun stuff. They're tired of the same nasty drama, blah blah blah. And it was like she kept posting this, and I was like, this is gonna happen to me. I don't want this to happen, so I'm just really thankful that I went through this process, and I think I can do something special with it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a part of the challenge that we're in right now, is like drama really sells.
I know.
And it's like people get addicted to it, like scandal, but actually like how good is that for everyone? Like,
I know.
To actually be consuming on the daily. Like I sometimes watch Real Housewives, and it gives me anxiety. The shouting I can't cope with. I'm just like
I don't feel we have enough drama to be able to like do
ours would be too boring. It's like,
but
you had this like one discussion this one time. Yeah, that was it.
That's what I loved about Kristen Cavallari's show. It was so much about her businesses and her family, and really I don't remember seeing a lot of drama, and I thought that was so real life.
Right.
Like I love that. Okay, so the next question that I have been dying to ask you: can you please tell me about TikTok? Teach me TikTok. I know we need to do it. We aren't doing it. So what do we need to know? And also, you just got on TikTok last year.
I just started last year.
And you've blown up.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have?
1.4 million, almost 1.5.
Wow.
Crushing it. I need to know everything.
Listen, I think the more authentic and real you are, I think even just posting stuff like this and shorten it in clips and posting that on TikTok would do really well. Like people want to see authentic conversations, and like I've seen podcasts like blow up on just TikTok, especially if you interview some TikTokers.
Okay, I need to do that. Let's make a note. TikTokers.
TikTokers DM us.
Yeah. And I think that just being more real and authentically yourself will do it's I think the days of Instagram are dying in general. I think it's turning into a shopping app, which is good for the app. I just think they're kind of changing into like what they are, and people aren't, because you guys do inspirational stuff, right? Mm-hmm, like inspirational stuff is on TikTok. Like people are there to be inspired and feel better about themselves.
So talk to me a little bit about format. So let's just say we decide we're going to do TikTok, we get the app, we get the profile. There's so many kind of formats. There's so many things that are trending. There's so many different ways to do it. What did you start with, and how did you decide to start with that?
This is a really good question, because I feel like everyone always asks me like what my niche is and like how to blow up. I don't have a fucking niche. You don't need a fucking niche. You just have to be yourself and be authentic.
Okay.
So like as long as you're putting out like really strong, content that's like I'm sure you guys have so many clips and things that you've already done that would be really empowering and inspiring to people.
Yeah. And,
especially I would say, which I'm sure you guys are, but leaning into that female empowerment audience, like that's really, my audience is 90% female, which is, really rare for, women, because they get stuck pigeonholed into that, like you do a dance in a bikini and then TikTok will never show your profile to women again.
So I'm curious, you decided to start TikTok. You have all these other businesses. You're a mom, you're a wife, you have all these things going on. Do you like plan it and you like have a day where like, right, I'm filming TikToks, I'm going to batch create them, and then they're going to last me this month? Or are you like, I'm just feeling this today, I'm just going to film this and post it?
I would say I used to more batch videos, but literally when I say I batch videos, I'll literally do my makeup getting ready and I'll respond to 100 comments and then just put it in my drafts. Like I put no effort into it. Like I literally just like respond and like talk things. I used to do that. I don't really do that anymore.
Okay.
I feel like I think I kind of blew up because I was really sassy to like mean comments, and I think
We could do that. That's one thing we would excel
that
at.
is
sass.
my favorite thing about TikTok over Instagram. That's the reason I stayed, is because like when people write you something nasty on Instagram, you're like, you're lame if you sit there and you're like, no, like I hate you back. Like that's so lame. Like I'd rather be like, I'm making a video, mic drop, and then that's it. And then, you know, it blows up and it's its own thing. And my followers are like, they end up deleting their account.
How do you deal with trolls other than like responding with a video?
Yeah, everyone like ignores it on TikTok, you know, like especially
They're not here for
like
it?
no, they just don't want to. They either delete comments or they just ignore it in general. Like there's specifically like a few TikTokers that literally their entire page, like everyone is like, we hate you so much, like every single comment, and it's so terrible and like disgusting. But I'm the opposite. Like if you say something that kind of bothers me, it's gonna stew in my head until I get it out. Like I have to get it out. I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna get it out, and then I'm done with it. Like I'll never think about it again. Like I do it for my mental health.
Yeah, I can get that. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your first TikTok was that like blew up and got exposure and brought people to your page?
So I had one. My first one that blew up was this guy said something about my body not being appealing to him or something like that, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like my body wasn't made for you, or like something like that. And then that kind of blew up, and then I made a video. When COVID first hit, I like made these face masks of like a picture of my face, and I was like, oh, like people need to see these juicy ass lips, like like something like that. And people like totally blew up, and then people were like, you sound like Kourtney Kardashian. This sounds like one of the Kardashians speaking. And I had never been told that before, and at this time I wasn't allowed to say anything about the reality show, so I was like really, you can even go back, I'm like panicked. I'm like, I've never been told that I sound like them before. Like I didn't want that to be my reputation, that I sound like a Kardashian, like when I'm going into the same business as them, you know? Like it freaked me out. And then I don't know, it just kind of that's been in the past. I mean, every once in a while people are like, this sounds like Kim or this sounds like Kourtney, and like I just don't hear it, so I don't know.
And did you, when you were creating TikToks in the beginning and you were saying you had to be a bit more intentional about it, were you going on and seeing what was trending and then doing that, or were you just completely creating your own thing?
I never did trends, ever. I've never danced. I've never done like song trends, nothing. I just be myself.
Oh, good, because I'm not here for the dancing ones.
No,
You
we
don't wanna
tried
see
that
me
once
dance.
and we deleted it and we were like, this
Maybe
will
I'll
never.
still twerk, but
Also-
I'm not doing a dance.
I really appreciate the meme ones, not the miming ones, sorry. And I think not enough credit is given to these people for the miming ones.
The miming?
Yeah, you know when they have like a voiceover and they're saying the words?
Oh, okay.
Hunter
I've
tried
never
to
heard
get me
anyone
to
call
do
it
that.
miming.
What do
What
you
is it
call
called? See, this is...
I'm not down with the
like
kids.
lip
What's it called?
syncing?
Lip syncing.
Oh.
I tried to do a lip syncing one.
I'm actually quite good at the lip sync.
I'm really
it was
bad.
so
You are?
freaking
Yeah.
hard. I could not.
I can't. I'm really bad
I was
at it
like,
too.
I'm pretty
Hunter,
good at
I need a
those.
night to rehearse this.
Yeah. Some people are really good at
I
it.
can't even remember all the
Yeah,
words.
I
I'm like,
know.
I am not an actress.
And like
here.
the timing and like I could never be an actress. I'm
No.
not good with the script.
No.
I would like even in front of you I'd be like I'm just like I have to be myself or it's not
Same.
gonna work.
That's the conclusion I came to.
And what about titling it, putting covers on it, using hashtags? Do you have any strategy for that?
Never use hashtags.
Okay.
Kind of when you're first starting, if you want to go like hashtag female empowerment, it doesn't really change the effect of your.
Okay.
I would say the more that you post, the better you're gonna do.
How often do you post?
I used to post 10 times a day.
What?
10 times
10
a
times a
day?
day. I would just respond to comments.
But what if you don't have any comments in the beginning, if you have 0 followers?
Yeah, how did you get your first?
I don't know. I don't remember. Like I would just like kind of post, like even like that
Were you
first
big on
comment
other
that guy.
platforms
No,
before?
I had 0 like following. It was just like I had a picture of me and my son like in front of our airplane or something, and someone says something about that. I don't know. And people ask me stuff too because I also homeschool my son, and so you know, even like videos like that have blown up. Like people be like, you know, your son's not going to be socialized, or like your son's going to be awkward and weird, and I'm like, well, at least he's not being a troll on the internet, because that's awkward and weird, you know. Like I just, you know, it's just kind of like but mine is really personality, but I'm sure you guys are too. So you just kind of have to, I think starting with these videos, people are going to comment and then you'll, Do
you know what? Just touching on that subject, isn't it interesting how people feel like their opinion is the only opinion? Like, you just mentioned you're homeschooling your son and people will say, he's not going to be able to like socialize with the children or he's missing out. And it just astounds me, the fact that people feel like theirs is the only opinion matters. Like, do you know what? If we were all the same, if we all thought the same, wouldn't the world be a boring place?
God. So boring.
Why do people even feel that they need to comment on that? I'm just like, oh, you homeschool, cool. So like, oh, you homeschool, this is harming your child.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Fuck off. I'm like, I'm just keeping my son inside his bedroom all day long. Like, is that what I look like I do?
Yeah.
Like, he travels the entire world with me. Like, with this building that we live in LA, he literally plays outside every day, all day with all of the kids in the building.
And it's like, that's the thing. It's not saying that, oh yeah, going to school's bad, but neither's homeschooling. Like, just let people live their lives, do what they want to do.
Like, I would never shame a mom for putting their kids in school,
it's so interesting to me that
but that's
people
the
feel
difference
they do now.
Though we are the kind of people that would never shame someone else for doing something because we're too focused on our own business.
Right.
So the people that are focused on other people's business, they'll struggle to really get anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. We just don't give a shit and we keep going where we're going.
Yeah.
It makes such a big difference. Okay, so you went on TikTok, it completely blew up. What I have loved about Instagram is the ability to monetize your audience. So we got on Instagram really as a business decision, and we've been able to turn that into a multi-million-dollar company. And Instagram's really been the platform that's helped us build our email list and create what you see as Boss Babe today. I'm really curious what you've seen in the realm of TikTok and monetization and business building.
Okay, I'm really curious because I feel like, you don't make money directly? Are you saying directly on ads you do, or like putting them into your other businesses?
Other businesses. So our whole strategy was we built an audience on our Instagram account, and then we would provide tons of free trainings, PDFs, all these different things, and people would swipe up, enter that email, sign up. We built an email list, and then we built a membership, and like slowly moved it since then. And so the smallest part of our business, I think, is like 5% of our business is brand partnerships, and we only really do it if we love a brand.
Okay.
But we don't monetize it that way otherwise.
So you monetize mostly on like selling courses?
On memberships, the main
memberships.
thing. Yeah.
There's a girl that I know that does exactly what you do on TikTok, and she's got about 1 million followers.
Okay.
We'll send you her profile so you can kind of, see what she's doing. I wasn't really, before I decided to leave the show, which is about in February, I wasn't really monetizing my audience other than the creator or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're supposed to say like how much you get paid, but mine was, I'd say I think since I've started TikTok, it's like 25 grand or something.
Is that they pay you?
Yeah, directly. Okay. So you get paid for views.
Okay.
And then
does everyone get paid for views?
You have to be approved for it. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think you have to have, I think it was like 100,000 followers plus, they get approved. Like if you have so many community violations, which they violate everything, it's very annoying. But
that's how Facebook.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's how Facebook started.
They always paid their creators
going into industries.
Yeah. I think, was it yesterday they announced $3 billion for creators?
Instagram too, right?
Yeah, it's all starting. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
I make a lot of my money doing brand deals.
Okay.
And I do a lot of them.
Okay.
I think even just showcasing products, not necessarily saying like this is something that I really love and I use, just saying like, hey, this brand sent me this, I'm showing it to you guys.
Yeah.
Like, just as like a spotlight. And I currently sell those for $10,000 per video, which is normally like 15-30 seconds, and I do maybe 3 a week.
Nice.
So
it is monetizable.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's really
views.
Interesting. That's what I was wondering, because I think Instagram has really built that for so many influencers. I was wondering how it works on TikTok. So what are your thoughts on Instagram?
And I think that, just to go back to this, I think that brands pay more for the TikTok exposure because they know it's not just your following that's going to see it. It's going to go more viral, and you're going to have more views than if you ever posted it on Instagram.
How does that work if you're not hashtagging and things? Did TikTok just show your videos to the people?
It just matters how many people like it in an amount of time.
Got it. Okay. So
you get prioritization if you're a page
and
creator.
Duration of view. If they like swipe away, that's why like some of these like brands that I work with, they want me to put in like you know, these green screens of like, green screen is like a
Yeah.
TikTok term, but like, you know, like a layover
Yeah.
of like me using whatever I'm doing and like explaining it in really deep time. I'm like, this is gonna fail. Like, this is not gonna, people don't want to watch this. They want to
Yeah.
watch me talk
Yeah.
about something that I like.
I literally spoke at Adweek, and before I went on stage, there were a group of TikTokers talking, and they were saying exactly the same thing. They were like, it really annoys us because obviously Adweek's really aimed at like, you know, there was a lot of brands there.
Yeah.
And they were saying like, you know, it's really annoying when a brand says like, hey, I want to pay you to do this, but then micromanages
Yeah.
the hell out of us.
Well,
And we're
they
like,
do it to us on Instagram.
Yeah, they do it
and
all
we
the
end
time.
up just saying, hey,
it's
have your money
not
back. I'm
gonna
not doing
work.
it.
Right.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, look, I'll do this, and I'm also going to post on my way that you're not micromanaging and show you the freaking difference.
Right.
Like advertising is changing.
Yeah.
Brand partnerships are changing. Like
People
people do not
don't
want
want
the
to
same
watch
mold.
the same. And this one brand works with like every single TikToker that I just did something with, and like it's the same video over and over. And like they literally wanted me to say in the thing, celebrities use this. Like, this is why you should like it. Celebrities use it. I'm like, I will go in a fucking grave before I say celebrities use this. Like, I'm not saying that.
They're
so
like stuck in the like
I've actually
2000s
yeah,
when everyone
this
was watching
past
that.
week I crafted and did my own contract. That's basically like, you're hiring me to do this content, and there's like a bunch of different points in there, but like basically like I'm giving you 2 different samples of 2 different videos that I will post, and those are your examples.
Choose one.
Or you can pay me again
Yeah.
for a different video, because like I'm not doing it again.
All
Yeah.
these revisions
Yeah,
back and forth.
no.
I know.
Natalie's been like close to throwing her phone out the
Yeah,
window
no, it's
before.
horrible.
Yeah, I there's sometimes I'll create content for a brand that I know will align with our audience. I'll send it to them and they'll say, no, we wanted it done this way. And it's like a picture of the product on a table.
Yeah.
And I'm like, firstly, this is shit for my engagement. It's not going to work for you. And often I'll say, take it or leave it. I'd really rather not do the partnership. And then they let us do it and then it works.
Yeah.
Or if
Can
they
I-
don't, I walk away.
Can I also say this whole conversation as well is like power of your gut as well.
Yeah.
Like bringing, because I think so often like we give away authority to like, oh, we think they're these big brands, they
Yeah.
must know better than us. It's like their product, they must know. And this applies across so many different points in business, is why I'm bringing it up. But like what I really think is really important for a lot of listeners who are starting their entrepreneurship journey or on it is like always listen to your gut. And I
Yeah.
remember I was having Jamie Kern-Lima on, who sold It Cosmetics for like 1.2 billion, and she was saying that exact same thing. Like, you know, I was told no so many different times, or I was told this wouldn't work so many different times. I was like, oh, told this has got to be done in a different way. And like these are just other examples of being like told something will work, you saying and knowing in your gut that's not going to work, it needs to be done this way.
Right.
And then the point being proven.
Right.
And it's like, how many times does that like actually happen in our lives sometimes that
Yeah.
we have to like, it's fine that other people are saying no, but we just have to be gung ho. Like, no, I know this is going to work. I'm going to get those results.
Right. Like I mean, I just think that, especially when you think like it's so glitzy, it's this big brand, and then you're like, this
Put 'em on
is
a pedestal,
horrible.
right? Yeah.
You know, like it's not, yeah.
Because we put brands on pedestals, we put people on pedestals. Same thing with like when someone gives you advice, oh, it's not going to work. You're like, oh my God. I actually remember, just deviating the story like slightly, I actually remember when I first met Natalie and I was going to do Boss Babe, and we were having these conversations,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I told this multi-millionaire that I was going to do it. And he said to me, he's like, Danielle, I thought, verbatim, I thought you were an intelligent businesswoman. I think this is the biggest mistake you're making of your career. Like
And
doing
just putting in
this.
I
that
just
we're
got
way
chills.
we're more successful than he is now.
Yeah, I'm just like, but imagine if I had listened to him. Like all I didn't have any proof. I didn't have proof of concept. I didn't even have a business plan at that point. I just had this gut feeling that what I was doing was going to work, and that like Boss Babe was absolutely where I needed to put my energy, because I was leaving a successful career behind.
Yeah.
Like I was leaving stuff, and I'm like, it's just over and over again, I feel like as entrepreneurs, as creators, you're always coming up against a no and being told you're doing
Always.
something wrong or to do it a different way. And it's actually like, yeah, there's a lot to be said around learning from people and like, you know, curating advice, but ultimately making your own decision.
You have to always make your own decision,
That's,
even if you fail.
yeah, right. Even
You
if
know?
fail, because at least you can learn from it.
So, what was the initial concept of Boss Babe? Like, what did you say to him that you were going to do?
Well, basically, the point was that I was a chiropractor and I was going down so I had chiropractic clinics. So I was already like in my business place. And this was completely online. So I was leaving everything I knew behind. And he was like, you're crazy. You're doing this. Like, you're giving up all of this stuff for an industry that you know absolutely nothing about. He's like, social media is like not going to be around like this. Like, Instagram's like not going to be around. Like, people pay for engagement. People do these things. Like, this is just not a business model that's going to be viable. And you know jack shit about it. I mean, he was true on the not knowing much about it, but that's why I was like, I just roll my sleeves up and I'm gonna learn this freaking thing. Like, not knowing is an excuse for me. I'm gonna learn. So yeah, that's how it started. That's why I thought it was crazy, because I was taking a complete pivot. It was like literally
Do you find
everything.
it hard to like work together as a
No,
because I find that's very hard for most entrepreneurs to find someone that they work really well with.
I think it was like universal intervention, honestly, that we met each other, because we were just talking about it this morning. There's so many things that have happened to us in our company that you would think would tear most business partners apart. And Danielle and I don't fight. Like, every moment that something like this happens, our relationship gets stronger. And I think the best thing about our relationship is we're so good in completely different arenas. And so we never step on each other's toes. We respect each other so much. Like, when we started, Danielle didn't have a clue how Instagram worked. I think you'd done like 2 posts with a Valencia
barely
filter.
had an account.
And I loved it.
You know, it's how she throws in that detail. That filter, you know.
But I loved it, and I was really, really good at it. But the stuff that Danielle was really good at, like the behind the scenes business, like knowing how to set up processes, keep an eye on our finances, like so many different things I'd never done before.
Right.
And so we came together and we saw, okay, I can't do it without what you can do. You can't do it without what I can do. Let's work together.
And that's so powerful.
It is. And it's just been a total game changer for us. We would never, I was just saying on another podcast, like, individually we're good, but together we're a force. And when you find someone that you can work with like that, that covers all bases, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So talk to me about Instagram. What are your thoughts on Instagram?
I literally hate Instagram.
Tell me more.
I think Instagram is dying. And do you know why I think Instagram is dying? Because kids do not want to be on an app where their parents are on. And there are no new people coming to Instagram. The young kids are not going to be there. And as they grow up, they're never going to use it. And Instagram is becoming the Facebook.
Yeah, that did happen to Facebook. That's true. I guess it depends what your market is then, you know?
Yeah.
If parents are your market, cha-ching, you want to be on Instagram.
Right.
So I guess that's the way to... It depends how you're monetizing your business, right? Views or product or whatever that is.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that you think Instagram is a shopping app, will you elaborate on that?
I just think that the way that they turned their notifications into a shopping button, and like everything is literally like shopping, like every time I scroll my stories, like every third video is literally like a shopping thing, which may just be about me too, but
you're getting targeted there, my dear.
You know, and then also like the creepy ads where they're like listening to you, you know, like I'll do like a brand deal and I'm sitting there talking to my assistant about it, and like I'll start getting ads on my
It's freaking
on my feed, but I really don't even log into Instagram anymore.
I don't know if that's going to happen so much anymore now. The Apple and Facebook/Instagram
they had a divorce.
Yeah, what happened?
They got divorced. Yeah, so Apple basically said they won't allow it through the iPhones anymore. So
Instagram,
they'll allow Instagram, but they won't allow you them to listen in.
Yeah.
And so Facebook
shouldn't.
ads. Yeah. So Facebook ads, it's been a shit show for anyone whose company's been reliant on Facebook ads, because basically every time you log into an app now, the app will ask you whether you're going to allow them to use your data and track you. And if you say no, they won't have that data on you anymore. So you'll probably notice if you go on Facebook now, your ads aren't very targeted. Like I've been getting the most random ads that just don't apply to me whatsoever, and you can see the algorithms changing, and they're casting a wider net. What I think is really interesting about Instagram is there's a lot of influencers that I follow on Instagram that I do buy from, I do shop from, and I follow them. I love watching their stories. I love the curated content, and I buy from them. And I see the appeal of that. And I also see the need to get on TikTok and to be, and also to be going more all in with YouTube. I think YouTube has a long shelf life as well.
Yeah.
And something that we're constantly talking about is how do we learn the skills that are so transferable to different platforms? Because there's always going to be something new, whereas there's a core set of skills that you can learn that will help you to pivot when any new platform arrives.
I know it's hard. I mean, it's, you know, repurposing the content and seeing what sticks where, right? Because you don't want to just keep making different content for each platform too. But I think, you know, I think YouTube is going to do really well too.
Yeah.
I think YouTube is turning into TV, which is another reason that I've decided to use that platform for me to launch. Like I could have, Vimeo reached out to me and they have like a Netflix style back end where you can literally make your own TV show, like your own network, like Martha Stewart has it. And it's like it's her own Martha Stewart app. And you like, it's like on like Apple TV, like you can download her app and like have like all her videos and pay like a monthly subscription for it. I was thinking,
that's so smart. I did not know that.
I know. I was thinking about doing that, but then I was like, I just want a more organic audience, I think, from YouTube. And then I'll see what I want to do with like season 2 or something like that. But I do think YouTube is, you know, that too. But I think too, like maybe diversifying your audience and like do a giveaway, you know, like when we hit a certain amount of followers on TikTok, we'll do some, you know, whatever. Like I'm going to do for my reality show, I'm doing a giveaway that, who I think, I don't know if I'm going to do like the most creative video about the show. Cause like this one girl did like a whole ad for it. Like she was like turning on, like it was just my trailer and she's like getting dressed and like filing her nails, like putting her sunglasses on to like watch the TV. And then like my trailer's there. I was like, this is so cute. But I'm going to pick one winner to have like brunch with Bunny. I'm going to fly them to LA for the afternoon, to go to brunch, like go shopping, like something like that. Like you guys could do, I think just more like interaction with your audience.
Yeah.
The main reason why I think that I really love social media is that I've never felt so emotionally fulfilled in my entire life. I think because I share so much about my personal life that, I mean, every single day I get at least 5 to 10 messages from girls saying that they were going to end their life before finding me. I've made them feel confident in their body. Like they've never felt so good about themselves until finding me. And it's just like things that you don't really realize by just sharing things about your life that you're actually changing other people's lives.
Yeah, and that's really powerful.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason that we pivoted our content to be more real and behind the scenes, because we were getting a lot of that and we were realizing, oh, it's not just the business stuff that we're teaching that has an impact. It's showing other people that we have bad days, that we go through certain things and sharing that. And actually what's been most fulfilling about the podcast is I found out I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, just by coming off birth control, going to the gynecologist. And after that, I was really determined to bring women on the podcast that could talk about this and educate on birth control and hormones. And I think that has had probably one of the biggest impacts on our audience. The amount of DMs I get every week of, I just came off birth control after that podcast, or for the first time I got this checked out, and that is life changing. And so business
and
is
you're
one
doing
thing.
that.
Yeah, and it's so fulfilling to be able to be real and share that. But I remember when I first got diagnosed, I didn't know that I wanted to share it, and I was still so teary and emotional when I would be sharing it. But the impact that it had is incredible. So I think the more people are willing to share, you really never know the impact that could have on someone.
You never know. Like, even if, you know, you're just starting out and you're sharing like little things about your life, like you never know how inspiring. I wasn't even planning on being inspiring. Like, even like telling people to go like fuck themselves, telling me that I'm too skinny. Like, you know, like I'm getting these little girls that are like, you know, like my mom says this to me every day, and like I've always hated myself and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, like I just never realized like me clapping back to a hater would turn into this empowerment, you know, platform.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's just like now, like everyone's just owning who they are and their imperfections. Like I was like, I'm just perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, which I think is why TikTok, because you can't curate it, you know. You can't, I mean, you can use a different app and like Photoshop yourself or something like that, but most people don't. It's just like the real and raw, you know, things that are really going on in people's lives.
So speaking of the real, you mentioned before about having multiple businesses and also having businesses that have failed. Can you walk us through some of that? Because I feel like people always talk about the successes. They don't talk about the ones that didn't work.
My biggest advice, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be someone who's not afraid of failure, because you're going to fail. If you don't fail, then you're not a business owner. Like everything's not just like, oh my God, it's amazing, I'm making so much money, this is so good. Like there's definitely failures. Even with social media, I think social media is like the fastest growth of being, let's say, an entrepreneur, if you know, but you know, there's, I mean, the hate and the things that like you can be canceled at any moment. You know,
for saying like the slight,
little
like
thing,
the wrong thing.
You know, so you really have to be okay with really putting yourself out there, even if it's like a restaurant. Like people are gonna write on Yelp that they didn't like your tacos. You know, like there's gonna be things that people don't like about your business, and you just have to be okay with that. And I mean, I had my first like real big business was a yacht chartering service in Miami. And we would have, because like it made no sense to me. I was going on yachts like every weekend and like whatever. And I'm like, this makes no sense to me that there's not like bottle service on yachts. Like it makes like no sense. There's nightclubs, every single nightclub, they're spending like $500,000 on each table. And like, there's no yacht that you can like get bottle service and have like pretty girls to like hang out with. Like it makes no sense to me. So me and my girlfriend started this business where we would charter the boats, and that we had this really, which if anyone wants to do this business, it's totally up for grabs if you're around boats, because it's such a good idea. The reason it didn't work is me and my partner just weren't aligning with things that were going on, and then I ended up getting pregnant at the same time, and I was like, listen, this just isn't for me. But
it's a good idea. Let's share it.
It's so good. So it doesn't matter the size of the yacht that you have. It's a 30-foot yacht or Jeff Bezos' 200-foot yacht, right?
I'm sorry, I just took it to a new level.
You can only bring 12 guests. If you are paying for a boat, you could have a 200-foot yacht, and you can only bring 12 guests. But if you have bottle service girls, they are considered staff, so you can still bring 10 bottle service girls with your 12 guests.
Oh, interesting.
But and that's Coast
that Miami
rules.
life.
And so that failed just because you and your business partner weren't aligning, and you decided to step back.
Yeah, it was I think wrong time. I mean, I just being a mom and stuff now doesn't really like align with, I don't know, just like partying and drinking, and like I never went on the boat with the charters anyways, and I did more like back end stuff, but it was just, I don't know, it's not really in my wheel. I don't have the mental energy for it.
I like how you're like thinking around the opportunity, and I feel like that's how so many businesses are born. I'm like, hang on a minute, what's annoying here? What can be done differently? And like, how do I try something new?
Yeah, that's also how we started my software company, which is called Send It by Text. I don't really talk about it because girls started showing up to my office, and these ladies like that I would like write like comments back to would literally call my receptionist and be like, I fucking hate her. Like it was crazy. Yeah, I literally had to step back from the business. Like I couldn't.
What?
Yeah, it was really crazy. But, we saw a need of, we're sending documents through like a document service and they're going through emails, they're going to spam. Like they're not getting them, and and people don't even like check their emails,
So
like
true. So you just like contracts and stuff, and you sign
any contract. So you just put it into the system, and it takes 2 clicks, and it's signed.
I like that. When did you send that? When did you set that up?
We started that in maybe 2017, 2018.
That is smart. You're so right. I mean, I sign a lot of these documents.
You do. Yeah.
I'm the one who gets them.
I mean, I think, one of my husband's companies was paying like $200,000 a year to this document signing company, and he was like, we're gonna make this. Like there's a need here, and like we can just do it ourselves.
Me. No, it's so true.
Yeah.
And so speaking about this business, and you got pregnant and you decided to pivot, and you've obviously still continued to really build an empire of so many different kinds of businesses. Did any of that change when you became a mum, the way you saw things or executed on things?
I mean, I don't think I would be doing a children's curriculum if I wasn't a mom. Like, I just wouldn't even been in my realm. I never even planned on having kids. I was kind of like, I don't care if I have kids. I actually was like, I don't want kids. Like, that was like, and now he's the best thing in the whole world, but I'm only having one. I'm not having another one.
So you had your little boy when you were 25 or 26?
Well, I was 2 weeks after turning 26, but I got pregnant at 25. And so he just changed my whole life. And I started by this children's curriculum. I feel like this is how things just kind of like happen as being like a business owner, and just having that kind of mindset is I really wanted to I live in this area, and like everyone's like, oh, like before your baby's born, you have to put them on this preschool list. And like, it's like so bougie. And I'm like, I don't want my newborn baby to think about him going to preschool, like it just felt really icky to me. And then I was like, I'm going to homeschool him. Like, let me look into this. I didn't even, mind you, I was kicked out of high school. Like, I literally have no formal education. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, like homeschooling, but like, I'm going to do it. And my husband was at first kind of like, but now he loves it. Like, he's like, he was just kind of like, are you sure you should be like homeschooling?
He's like, let me give you a test first.
Like 4 + 7 is what? No. I looked at all these different curriculums. I bought every single one that there was. I'm going to buy them all. There was this one that I found that a mom made. She spent 7 years making it. She used to be a teacher, and I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I reached out to her because I wanted to start donating it, like giving it to like women that are in like domestic violence shelters, and like kind of putting a package together and like giving it to them to do with their kids when they're little, right? I just really felt like empowered by it. And so we kind of going down that process, and then the whole TV show thing happened. And I was like, listen, what if we like partner? Like I'll be more the marketing side, you can do like more the curriculum side. She was like, listen, I'm getting a divorce, my life is changing, I just want you to buy it from me. And I was like, okay. So then I just bought the entire thing and redid it, and now it's on activitybunny.com.
I love that. I know, and I don't have kids yet, but I'm definitely thinking about having them soon. And that's one thing that I've been thinking about too, is the schooling, and homeschooling seems so appealing to me.
Especially you're traveling. So.
Exactly. But the idea of having a curriculum, because I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
give it to you for free.
Today we're teaching you TikTok and Instagram and these.
And then that's the thing too. Like people are like, your son, like I don't really care if my son learns algebra. I literally do not care. Like I want him to be a nice, kind person, and he lives with 2 entrepreneurs. Like he's gonna learn some skills that a normal kid's probably not gonna learn going to school, and there's plus and minuses to it too, like and he really wants to be an astronaut. Like he knows every single thing. He knows how many moons each planet has, what each planet is made out of, like is it gas or like I don't even know. He like learns watching YouTube, because this is his thing now. I've taught him, whenever he's got a question for me, like he asks me, what happens after you poop? Like, where does the poop go? I'm like, I don't know, but let's watch a YouTube video on it. So now he knows all about the sewer system and everything like that. So literally every single thing that he asked me, like what he asked me the other day, like how does sound wave work? I'm like, I don't know how sound waves work, So we're turning on YouTube and we're watching a whole video, and now he knows everything about sound waves,
Isn't that amazing?
I would not be able to homeschool without technology. There's no way. And that's why I hate when parents are like, YouTube is so bad for kids and like whatever. Like, no, YouTube is bad if you're watching your kids like play with slime all day, which I mean could be if that's what they're really into. Maybe that's something they could do as a business. I don't know. It could not. It's not even that bad. But I just hate that people are like so anti having their kids learn from stuff online, because it is the best resource that we have.
It's so interesting because I remember being brought up by my parents. I wasn't homeschooled at school, but it was very much like watching TV was like a treat. Like it was really bad.
Yeah.
We were not allowed computer games because my mum believed that wasn't like,
I mean, we're like the same age too. I remember I had like computer games that were like math. Do you remember?
I had those as well. Like I had this one called like PB Bear or something. I don't know. He was like doing maths and I had to do it along with him. But I think there's like, if I was going to learn something, I was learning via encyclopedia and books. So there was this big thing between like software IT, which is games and play, and books were learning. Whereas now that differentiation has completely changed.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to books to learn, you're actually probably learning outdated stuff by this
Right.
point. Whereas IT, like you say, YouTube, like these places have so much education on here and the now. And, going back to the example of parents being asked questions, I remember asking my mum and dad questions. They would make the freaking answers up just to shut me up. Like, I mean, no, sorry.
I probably would have too before YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Back in the day, you used to have to make shit up to keep the kids quiet. Now you're like,
the
actually, I'm just
poop
gonna learn.
goes next door. I don't know.
So for me, I used to go to my grandparents' house every weekend, and my granddad had all of these encyclopedias. And so if I asked a question during the week, my mum would always be like, write it down and go ask your granddad at the weekend. So I'd go, and we had these shelves of big encyclopedias, and we had to flip through. And
That was your Google.
oh my God.
Literally.
But just saying this out loud has made me realize how fucking old we are.
Mate.
We need to get on TikTok
When,
and just like...
when there was dial-up internet,
my God.
you had to wait for it to join. Like, oh God, I'm old now.
good times.
But it is. It's like just the transition of how we just need to approach everything with a new mindset. It's constantly evolving, whether you're going from Instagram to TikTok, or whether you're, looking in encyclopedias or Googling it, or you just using YouTube. I think that's like the biggest thing, that we just all need to be open to change, and things are changing so quickly now. And if you don't have an open mindset and you're stuck 10 years ago, you're stuck 20 years ago, you're just not going to evolve.
I mean, even the same thing with like food too, right?
Yeah.
Like when there's things that when we grew up, we thought McDonald's was like healthy, right? And now we just like you if you take the time to more educate yourself on things that are like healthy for you.
I
and not
used
like
to have this like squash, like juice,
Yeah.
like orange juice. My mum used to like.
Wait, orange juice or squash?
Well, squash, orange squash. Like
Squash juice?
No, you're saying
what do you call it
It's
here?
like, I don't know what the American thing is. It's like you dilute it
and
with
then you
water.
add water to it.
Oh.
So it's
Concentrate or something. I don't know
Okay,
the American
okay.
word.
Okay.
But like I got brought up thinking this was like good for you. It has aspartame in it. I'm like, which is
has
so
what?
bad.
Aspartame.
A really bad sweetener.
Oh.
You don't
Like
want
a
it.
really bad sweetener. And I was like drinking that every single day. Okay, we're
Yeah.
taking a
Okay,
tangent.
this
That
is
gonna
getting
bring us
boring
down.
as fuck. I don't want to talk about aspartame or squash. So to wrap this up, I would love to know if you have advice. Say there's a woman listening and she's perhaps thinking about going into entrepreneurship. She's in the early stages of her career. What advice would you give her?
Do it all. Try everything. I mean, I at one point thought I wanted to do like a at-home staging company where like you sell houses and like design it and whatever. And
Yeah.
like my husband's like, we don't even live in one house all the time. Like, how are you going to physically get things there? And I was like, you know what? This is probably a
point.
bad idea, But just try it all, Like keep trying until something sticks.
And what about for those people who say they struggle with motivation or fear of failure?
I would say fear of failure is something that either you should get over with or entrepreneurship is probably not for you. Just to be really honest. Like you should probably, if you not everyone should be an entrepreneur, Like there are people that are much better like with books and just doing things that are not, owning a business and the pressures of owning a business because it's a lot of pressure. It's not easy, and if you can't take the pressure of owning a business, I don't think like there's no reason to put life is supposed to be fun. And if owning a business is not fun for you, then it's probably not it. What was the other one?
That was it. It was
Nailed it.
mainly motivation, but I
Okay.
think the fear of failure was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motivation, I think especially having people around you, surrounding yourself with people who motivate you is like so important. Like you can't be with a group of people that are not really going anywhere or doing anything that you like or anything like that and plan to be successful. It's just not going to happen.
I love it. Well, Bunny, thank you so much for being here. We're inspired to get on TikTok. I'm going to be texting you constantly
Love
for
it.
advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys
you.
so much for having me. This was great.